Hey, we're Drew and Jonathan Scott, the Property Brothers.
We are being held against our will at BirchmanBox HQ, but we actually have some tips that we want to give all you guys out there about how you can be a little more handy and customize your own space so that it looks better.
Exactly. I can't stand walking into a guy's place that just feels like that bachelor pad, straight out of college, just posters on the wall, all masculine. You have to add a little bit of a feminine touch.
Drew randomly walks into people's houses all the time.
I do. Yeah.
It's weird. But you do want to get rid of furniture pieces that don't add anything to the design. For example, that old leather chair with all the tears in it that you've had since college, get rid of it. It's ugly.
There are new recliners you can actually get that aren't ripped and they don't smell, that actually would look good in a design. And you can get rid of some of the other furniture pieces that you have as well that don't fit the space. We're not saying you have to clear cut though. You can keep some elements of maybe some of the larger pieces that you don't have the money to replace, and look at some of your decor items, your accents that you can actually replace and use to add a bit of color.
Another trick is to refinish some of the pieces that you have, whether it's a lamp or a table. You can paint them out. I recommend spraying them because it gives it that nice factory finish, and then change out some of the hardware, and then you can have what looks like a brand new piece. And I do that all the time on Property Brothers. People don't even recognize their original furniture, but all I've done is repaint it.
It's really something simple you can do. Just look online for some instructions. You can have a new chair. It could look like brand new within an hour.
Reupholstering is a lot easier than you think. In fact, if you just take the cushion off of a chair, you take the staples out, you can actually fold the fabric out and just cut a new piece to that exact same size. Then you put it back on, stretch it out, staple it in. It literally will look like a new chair.
By the way, I personally like to have Jonathan do it for me, so come up with a list and then have your handy brother come in and do the work for you.
That's what he does.
Well, lighting is huge and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. A well-lit space makes it feel larger, more inviting, and hopefully you can put some dimmers on there, so if you're trying to create a romantic situation, you can just bring down those lights.
That just got creepy.
I don't want it
really creepy.
Let's get the lights up in here. I want up.
You don't have to spend a fortune on lighting. You can find a couple of key features, a couple of key fixtures that you can put in your dining room, in your kitchen, in the bedroom, and that's going to really make a dramatic difference. There are different kinds of light. You have to understand that there's ambient light that you want to make sure you have plenty of. It makes a room feel bigger, but then also task lighting in a kitchen or maybe where you're reading, and then feature lighting. That's the stuff that's really going to add that pop and a little bit of character.
We talked about painting furniture pieces, chairs and tables. We also want to look at painting the room itself. A lighter color can again make it feel brighter, bigger, and you can also look at adding a feature wall. If you have a nice fireplace but it's an old brick, you just paint it out, whether you go white or a soft gray, and then use some decor pieces on your mantle or in and around what you painted to add that interest.
If you're in a rental and your landlord is not going to allow you to paint, it's okay, because there's a lot of ways that you can spruce up the space without doing that. For example, one of the largest areas that gets overlooked, the floor. Add an area rug with a great pattern or some color, and it will really pop in the space, help define a space. Or wall hangings. You can, put up something beautiful, or curtains, for example. I make all my own curtains. You can too. You just have to go and find your pattern, and they'll show you at the store how to sew it.
The only thing I would suggest not doing is putting up the self-portrait like Jonathan does of him naked on a bearskin rug. I don't like that above a couch. It doesn't add any value.
Personally, I think that is a killer piece that I have featured above my fireplace.
Well, these are just a few tips that you can take from BirchBox, and hopefully that this has been helpful for you guys. And feel free to reach out to us through our social media. I'm at Mr. Drew Scott, at Mr. Silver Scott. Silver's his middle name, and we answer all your questions.